Hi guys, this is Tammy Roussel from Mitzi Kit. I'm here today in my garage, so please pardon the mess. But I wanted to share with you some new ideas for some quick and easy Christmas ornaments and some Christmas gifts. They're no-sew projects and they're fun and easy to make if you have a die cutting machine that can cut fabric. So I've talked a little bit about those machines. I have a Sizzix Big Shot Pro machine here. The Sizzix Big Shot will work just as well. The Accu-Quilt fabric cutter will work. I think some people have Cricut fabric cutters. So as long as you have something that will use dies to cut fabric and can cut some fairly thick pieces, then you're good. So let's get started. I'm going to show you what we're going to make today. We have these cute little Christmas ornaments that are made out of some fabric, cotton fabric, and some self-adhesive felt and some ribbon. And we've made several of those. This one has a little button on the front and a cotton ribbon. This one I actually made into a little ornament for a keychain. So cute. So when I put it in my pocketbook, it's both pretty and functional so I can find my keys better. And then of course you could also use these to hang on your Christmas tree. Another easy project we're going to talk about are coasters. So this is so pretty with the Christmas fabric, and it's made very simply with some pretty cotton Christmas fabric and some thicker self-adhesive backed felt. We can make several of them and tie them up and put them in a little ribbon bow as a gift. So the supplies you're going to need for these projects, as I mentioned, is your die cutting machine, whatever that is, whether that's Sizzix, Accu-Quilt, or some other fabric die cutting machine. Your dies of your favorite shape. So I chose the 4-inch circle for my coasters. And I chose a small heart shape, which is actually part of, for me, this is a Sizzix die that has a cupid and a little heart, and I'm just taking the heart piece of this. And I also chose a little gingerbread man die that I'm going to use for one of the Christmas ornaments. And I didn't make this yet, but I'm also going to try a teddy bear one. I thought a teddy bear die would be really cute for a Christmas ornament too. So you might have other dies that you like. The important thing is that they're about the right size for a Christmas ornament or a keychain ornament, either one. The circle dies, like I said, are great for the coasters. I also tried it with a heart die, so that made a cute coaster too if it's big enough, 4 to 5 inches. I think this one's about 5 inches. All right, now you'll want to pick out some cute fabric, and you want fairly good cotton fabric for this so that it adheres well and isn't too thin. I chose this bundle of Christmas fabric at Joann's. It was on sale. It was a bundle of fat quarters and they had coordinating prints, so got that, and I'm really pleased with this fabric. The fat quarters are a great way to work with smaller pieces of fabric rather than having yards of fabric that you have to cut. So this works good for die cutting. You're also going to want some adhesive backed felt sheets. I got these from Amazon. These are fairly thin. They have many different brands online. For our Christmas ornaments and our keychain ornaments, you don't need real thick felt, so these work fine as long as they have the adhesive backing. You can get them in multiple colors. I chose the red and the green for my Christmas ornaments, but mostly you can't see them because it's inside. And then you also want some thicker adhesive backed felt, and this is very thick. It's great for coasters because it makes them more sturdy. This one I also found on Amazon, and I'll include the links to these items in the description below for the video. And then finally, you're going to want a some sheets of Heat and Bond Ultrahold iron-on adhesive. So this is double-sided, meaning that when you press this on to your fabric, there will be the sticky side that presses on to your fabric, and then the other side will have a paper backing, and you can peel that paper backing off and then iron that onto something else, so it will stick on both sides. And this is going to be important for our Christmas ornaments and our keychain ornaments. Okay, so we'll get started with the simplest, and that is the cute coasters. What a great gift to make, a bunch of pretty coasters for your friends, wrap them up with a little ribbon, and you can, make them very unique if they have certain types of interests, like, fishing or golfing or boating. You can buy the fabric that matches their interest and make coasters for them that are very unique and personalized. So I just chose this pretty Christmas fabric. I'm going to do this one in this cute green with red candy cane and little flower Christmas fabric. And what I'm going to do is, first of all, take one of my thicker felt, adhesive backed felt pads, I guess you would call it, and I am going to simply remove the backing from this so that sticky part is going to be showing. And I'm going to place all I need for this is, well, I'm gonna use quite a bit because I'm gonna make a lot of coasters. So I guess I'll just fill up the whole sheet. But if you only wanted to make a couple of coasters, you could cut your fabric smaller and cut your sheet smaller before you took off the backing so it doesn't stick to your scissors. But I'm going to use the whole sheet. So gonna pan down so you can see what I'm doing. So here's the sticky side. I'm going to take my fabric and I'm just going to lay it right on top of it so that the corners are all lined up. And the important thing is just to smooth it right out. Smooth out your fabric. Now, I didn't iron my fabric first. I probably should have. If you can iron your fabric first, just to make sure you get all your wrinkles out, that's good. And smoothing that fabric right down, try to get all the bubbles out. And you can see I have some overhang, so I'm simply going to trim off that overhang of fabric around the felt sheet. And that's pretty simple to do, even if you have low vision or blind, because you can feel that thick piece of felt and just cut right around it. Cut that off. Cut the excess off. And I don't have to be real neat. I probably should have been neater than that, just to save my fabric. So then I'm going to take this extra fabric and put it aside for my other projects. And again, just press down the edges, make sure that fabric is all adhered to that sheet. Now I'm going to take my die, and I want my circle die. My circle die is where? It is right here. So I have this circle die, and it has 3 different sizes of circles. I want the 4-inch circle, and I'm just going to size this to my die plate so that I can figure out how much of this I need to cut out that circle. So I can see that it's just about half of my die. So I'm just going to cut again around the edges of my die plate so that this fits. This being the fabric that is adhered to the felt backing. I just cut a rectangular piece that's going to fit over the portion of my die so that I can cut out the circle. Now I'm going to take my plate and going to put that over my fabric. So my fabric is felt side down on top of my circular die, and then I'm going to put my plastic plate on top of that, and I'm going to just pump it through my Big Shot Pro. So I have it on the tray, push that in, and I'm just going to roll it through. And I pull it out, and voila, I have my coaster. So that's one. I can make as many as I want and then just wrap them up with a pretty little bow. So easy, easy project and lots of fun and so cute. You could even mix and match. As a matter of fact, I think I'll do that. Let's take one of these coordinating fabrics and do the same thing. Now I'm going to take another piece, and this time let's try it with the smaller, the thinner adhesive back fabric, just to see how that works out. I'm going to use the white this time. So you don't have to have thick coasters. I tend to prefer them, but sometimes a thin coaster is just fine. So what I'm going to do, though, I don't want to use all this fabric, so I know I just need about a 6-inch piece. So I'm just going to cut out about a 6-inch square. I'm just approximating from my fabric. And I'm going to put it on top of my adhesive felt. I'm just going to peel back that piece of paper to reveal some of the stickiness, because I don't want all of it. And then I'm going to lay my fabric down just to have a nice flat surface to do this on. Smooth out the fabric onto the sticky part of the adhesive backed felt. And so there I have the fabric on the adhesive, and then I'm going to cut around it to just cut out that piece that we're going to work with. And it's a little hard because it's a little bit fluffy. And I'm just going to cut that out. And I'll show you the difference between the thicker felt and the thinner felt when it comes to coasters. So I cut that off. I'll leave that for another project. So there's my piece. And again, kind of flatten it out. Now I'm going to take my circular, actually let's take the circular one again. And same thing. I'm going to lay the circular piece, or the fabric piece, over the circular portion that I want to cut. And then I'm going to put the tray, plastic tray on top of it, or plastic sheet on top of it, I should say. And then I'm going to put that on the tray, tuck it under this roller piece, and start rolling it under. And there's our second coaster. Kind of trim it a little bit. And there's our second coaster. Now you can see that that's much more flimsy. This one came out a lot more solid. You can see just holding it, this one kind of flaps, but it still makes a cute little coaster. So if you don't have the thick adhesive, you can use this thinner one as well. And package them all up because they all match. All right, now that we've shown you how to do the coasters, we will move on to doing these little Christmas ornaments. So for these Christmas ornaments, we're going to use the thin adhesive backed felt sheets and our fabric again. So this, I'll use this pretty snowflake fabric cotton fabric that I got from Joann's. And I will make a teddy bear this time. So I've got my teddy bear die. And what I'm going to do first is figure out that this die, the size of it, it's about the size of half of my felt sheet. So I'm going to cut that half off. It's about the size of my die. Okay, so I cut the adhesive backed felt sheet to the size of my die that has the teddy bear on it. And then I am going to take this adhesive, the paper off the back of the felt sheet so that the adhesive is revealed. Put that down. And I'm going to I will cut a piece of this fabric. I can use the paper that came off the back of the adhesive and just cut the fabric about the same size. Don't have to be exact. This is just to get it so it will cover the adhesive. So now I'm going to take this piece of fabric. It's important that it's right side up. So if you cannot see that it's right side up, please get help to know that your fabric is right side up when you lay it on the adhesive backed felt sheet. So I'm going to place it on the adhesive backed felt sheet and just press it down with my hands, nice and smooth it out. Okay, so now I have my fabric adhered to the back of my felt, and I am going to roll it through with my teddy bear die. So I'm going to put my teddy bear die on top of my tray with the fabric on top of that and the plastic sheet on top of that. Under the roller, and then I'm going to roll it through. And there I have this cute little teddy bear. He's so cute. Okay, and then I'm going to set this excess aside. I keep the excess because sometimes I can use these smaller pieces for other decorations. So I just have a scrap area for that. Okay, so now I have my little teddy bear, but we want our teddy bear, just like our little gingerbread man, to have both sides with the fabric. Right now he has felt on one side and fabric on the other. So what we're going to do is this, for the other side, we are going to take some of this Heat and Bond Ultrahold iron-on. And so the way this works, it has a rough side and a smooth side. The rough side is what we're going to iron on to the wrong side of our fabric. So I'm going to cut this to be about the size again of our teddy bear die. I'm going to cut that out, cut a piece of that Ultrahold iron-on adhesive paper. Again, to be about the size of the die. And then I am going to cut a piece of the fabric, again, that same fabric that we used and adhered to the white felt. I'm going to use the paper we just cut out, the Ultra Heat and Bond, as our template, and cut out a piece of fabric the same size. I really gotta sharpen my scissors, they're a little dull. Okay, cut that out. And now we have this piece of Ultra Bond Ultrahold heat and bond that we're going to iron on to the wrong side of our fabric. And we're going to iron it on so that the rough side of the heat and bond is facing the wrong side of our fabric. So, as I said, you're going to take your heat and bond paper. This is the rough side. I'm going to put my fabric right side down. And then I'm going to put the heat and bond rough side on top of the wrong side of the fabric. And I'm going to heat up my little iron here, which is partly heated. And then I'm going to press it onto the back of this fabric. Kind of, in this case, we want to make sure that all sides of the fabric are adhered, so we're moving the iron back and forth, smoothing out any bubbles in the paper. And you can feel it as it starts to adhere to the backing. It'll get stiffer. And that a couple minutes, make sure it's nice and adhered. Okay, so we've got that all ironed on, still a little hot. I'll let that cool a little bit. And we'll get this area ready. So we want our teddy bear die. And we're going to take this fabric that is now adhered to this heat and bond, and we are going to cut out this teddy bear shape. So we're going to lay it on top of our teddy bear die, and then we're going to put this on our, again, on our Big Shot Pro die cutting machine on the tray. And we're going to put our plastic sheet on top of it, roll it under. And here we go. Now we have a little teddy bear shape with the heat and bond paper on the back. We have this extra that I'll just set aside. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this felt backed teddy bear that we did earlier, and we're going to put this with the Ultrahold teddy bear on the felt so it will stick to the back. But before we do that, we also want to put a little ribbon in between so that we can have that nice little hanger to hang up on our Christmas tree. So I'm going to take a little ribbon, and I use about 6 inches of ribbon for this. Just mine is coordinating, so it's an off-white to coordinate with my red and off-white fabric that I'm using. And I am going to take the 6-inch ribbon and fold it in half so that it forms a loop on one end and then the 2 tails on the other. And I'm going to take my fleece backed teddy bear, and I'm just going to place that ribbon in the center of the head of the fleece backed teddy bear, so it's about 1 inch down from the top and in the center, because that's going to be what is our hanger. And I'll lay that down on my ironing board. And then I am going to take another small piece of this heat and bond Ultrahold, just about 1 inch by 1 inch piece. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm almost using it like tape. So I'm taking a piece of this, and I am going to take the rough part of the heat and bond, and I am going to place it on top of where the 2 ribbon tails are at the center of my teddy bear head. So I'm basically trying to adhere those two ribbons to the back of the felt. So I put that down, and now I'm going to iron that 1-inch piece of heat and bond over the ribbon tails onto the felt portion on the teddy bear's head. I'll iron that down and press it to try and get that to adhere. It takes a couple minutes to do this. Make sure it's nice and the heat has taken effect and gotten the glue activated. Okay, that should be enough. So now my little ribbon loop is hooked or adhered to the top of my teddy bear head on the felt side. And then, once it's cooled a little bit, I'm going to peel off the paper off the back of that adhesive, and it'll be just like a little shiny piece that's holding down those ribbons. I'll put that down. And now we're going to take our teddy bear that had the adhesive that was ironed on earlier, and we're going to peel that paper off. So it's a little, you have to have fingernails for this to kind of get the edge. Peel off that adhesive, and it's very shiny on the other side, and you line it up with the felt side of the teddy bear. And just feel along the edges to make sure all the perimeters are nice and lined up, so that your front and your back of your teddy bear is going to be the same. And then we're going to take our iron, and this time I'm going to be very careful to press, not iron. So what that means is you literally press down on your iron and then lift it up and press it down again, because what we want to do is make sure we're not shifting the fabric. When you press with your iron, you can shift it, and we don't want to move this fabric because we have it nice and lined up. So I'm just going to keep pressing and moving around from the top of the head to the arms. And then I'll go to the feet. And the belly, he's got kind of a big belly. And once you feel like it's adhered pretty good, then you can kind of hold on to one side and press it a little bit. And just make sure you want to get all the edges so that all the glue is going to be heat activated. Somebody asked me about a t-shirt press to do this, and that's, you know, probably you could do that. I have a Cricut press actually, which I could use to do this as well. It has a little stronger heat and a little more weight pressure. Okay, I think we're good. And we're done. We have our cute little teddy bear Christmas ornament. So that's it. You can do the same thing to create these heart ornaments, just using a heart-shaped die, but the same process. And I like these smaller hearts for making, as I mentioned, the key ornaments as well, keychain ornaments. So I hope you've enjoyed this craft, just something simple and quick to make some nice little gifts or just something for yourself. So please stay tuned. We're going to have more videos on some sewing projects as well. We have our sawtooth star project that I'll be showing a video for shortly, and we look forward to having you join us. Happy crafting.